brochure's here. I've seen it.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday, July 5th meeting of Agricultural Affairs Committee. Declarations of interest, none. Confirmation of minutes from the meeting of June 7th, 2018. Okay. Just to note that Councillor DeRuse had to send his regrets just due to a family matter. So this is a public meeting to consider the proposed comprehensive official plan and zoning bylaw amendments listed as items 2 to 4 on today's agenda. For the items mentioned above, only those who make oral submissions today or written submissions before the amendments are adopted may appeal the matter to the local planning appeal tribunal. In addition, the applicant may appeal the matter to the local planning appeal tribunal if council does not adopt an amendment within 150 days of receipt of the application for zoning and 210 days for an official plan amendment. A comment sheet is available at the door for anyone wishing to submit written comments on these amendments. Item number 1 on the agenda is a commemorative naming proposal for the Mike O'Neill Arena. The Agricultural Affairs Committee recommend council approve the proposal to rename the arena within the Manson Community Center located at 5572 Dr. Leach Drive as the Mike O'Neill Arena. We do have some members from the community, Rod Corbett and Nolan Arrhenius are here in support on behalf of the Manson Culture Parks Recreation Association. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your support of Mr. O'Neill. So on the item, Carrie, thank you very much. Item number 2 is a bylaw amendment for 4837 Albion Road and 4910 Bank Streets. This is about the Hard Rock. So this is really what this does is it takes what council already approved with regards to any future zoning regarding the number of gaming tables, and it doesn't permit them to go to committee of adjustment, but has them instead come back to council. So we do have an amendment on that. There was just some language in the proposed bylaw that was put forward and circulated last week, and it was just brought to our attention that there was some issues with it. So we have a fairly lengthy technical amendment to address that. So essentially it was just some of the wording in the bylaw was somewhat overstepping our authority. So we just narrowed the focus to make sure that the intent of the bylaw matches the intent of council to what we approved a month ago or 2 months ago. So I'll just read the resolution. So therefore be it resolved that Agricultural Affairs Committee recommend that Agricultural Affairs Committee approve the amended rationale section of the staff report as described in this motion. Be it further resolved that ARAC approve that the applicant and architect identification be deleted from the staff report, as this is a staff initiative report. And be it further resolved that document 2 be replaced with the revised bylaw attached to this motion, bylaw 2018, yet to be determined, XX. A bylaw of the City of Ottawa to establish specific criteria in respect to any proposed expansion or addition requiring a minor variance of the number of gaming tables at 4837 Albion Road and 4910 Bank Street. The Council of the City of Ottawa, pursuant to Section 45 of the Planning Act, enacts the following criteria for consideration by Committee of Adjustment. 1. In considering whether a variance is minor, the Committee of Adjustment shall address the following additional criteria: that such variance does not include an addition or expansion to the gaming table use, being 55 gaming tables at this location as approved through Council's resolution dated 9th of May 2018. And therefore be further resolved that ARAC approve the addition of the letter of commitment provided and attached to this motion by the Rideau Carlton Raceway and Casino with subject letter of commitment from Hard Rock on improvements and infrastructure that assists in improving local traffic conditions as document 4 of the report. And be it further resolved that pursuant to Planning Act, subsection 3417, no further notice be given. So on that amendment, that's moved by Councillor El Shantiri. Is that carried? So the report that Agricultural Affairs Committee recommend Council approve the specific criteria for consideration of an application for minor variance by the Committee of Adjustment for 4837 Albion Road and 4910 Bank Street as detailed in document 2, and 2, that Agricultural Affairs Committee approve the consultation details section of this report as amended. Is that carried? Carried. Thank you. Sorry, I know Murray Chown was here to speak to it, but I think you were okay with what we were doing, so that's what I thought. I should have asked you before I said carried. It's horrible if you were just vehemently opposed and I just carried on without you.
You want a notice of reconsideration?
Item number 3, a zoning bylaw amendment for 4835 Bank Street. The Agricultural Affairs Committee recommend Council approve an amendment to zoning bylaw 2008-250 for 4835 Bank Street to permit a place of assembly as an additional permitted use, to permit a reduced water setback of 20 meters from the normal high water mark and 13 meters from the top of slope, to permit a reduced interior side yard setback of 6 meters in relation to the place of assembly, as well as to permit a reduced parking rate of 8.4 spaces per 100 square meters of gross floor area of assembly area as detailed in document 2, and 2, that Agricultural Affairs Committee approve the consultation detail section of this report. On that item. Carried. Item number 4 is a zoning bylaw amendment for 2683 Mackey Road. This is a surplus farm severance. The Agricultural Affairs Committee recommend Council approve an amendment to zoning bylaw 2008-250 for 2683 Mackey Road to prohibit residential development on the affected lands in accordance with official plan policy 3.7, 3.9A as detailed in document 2, and 2, the Agricultural Affairs Committee approve the consultation detail section of this report. Carried? And item number 5 is the Richmond West Municipal Well System, endorsement of amendments to the Mississippi Rideau Source Protection Plan. This is a file that just with the new development in Richmond, there's a new communal well system that's being put in place to service that development, and this just recognizes that through our source protection plan. The Agricultural Affairs Committee recommend Council approve the resolution provided in document 2 regarding the endorsement of amendments to the Mississippi Rideau Source Protection Plan to include the new Richmond West Municipal Drinking Water System pursuant to Section 34 of the Clean Water Act that requires a resolution from Municipal Council to endorse proposed amendments to a source protection plan. On that item. Great. Thank you. So that's it for the agenda items. We do have an additional item from Councillor Blais. So I'll ask Councillor Blais to introduce that. First of all, it's to add the item to the, to waive the rules, to add the item to this agenda. Obviously, with our next meeting not being until September, there's always some time considerations at this time. So is that approved to add the item to the agenda? Carried. And I'll let Councillor Blais introduce the item.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I'll read it and then I'll happily give a very brief explanation. Whereas 2263 Portobello Boulevard is a city-owned parcel, whereas the westerly portion of approximately 8 hectares is zoned L1 Community Leisure Facility and is designated as general urban area in the city's official plan and contains the Francois Dupuis Recreation Center, a municipal fire station, and several sports fields, whereas the easterly portion of approximately 20 hectares is zoned AG Agricultural and is designated as agricultural resource in the city's official plan. And whereas there's a desire to explore the potential expansion of the existing community and recreational facilities to the portion of the property presently designated as AG, and whereas the provincial policy statement permits non-AG uses on a limited non-residential basis in prime AG areas under policy 2.3.6, therefore be it resolved that staff be directed to initiate an analysis of the lands at 2263 Portobello, presently designated as AG, to consider whether the addition of a recreational and park use is appropriate under policy 2.3.6 of the provincial policy statement. This is a large parcel of land the city already owns. It is surrounded almost entirely by suburban development. It is adjacent to municipal facilities, and it is only farmable with the installation of tile drainage. Our own property department did analysis of that and installing tile drainage is economically non-feasible to get any return back on that investment. And Parks Department is on board with expanding the recreational facility to include this potential future park, and the Planning Department would like to review the possibility under 2.3.6 to get our ducks in order before we go any further. And I'm hoping we had a consultation on the park about a month ago, and I can tell you hundreds of people came out to show their support for the possibility of this future park.
Thank you, Councillor Lay. Any questions? Yeah, Councillor El-Shamsiri.
Maybe a question to our staff, to legal, Mr. Chair. I've seen this motion and I understand the rationale for this. My question is, would that open the gate for others to come back and say, well, the city did it in this area, why don't we do it in other area? Like that's a concern I have.
Legal Services has reviewed this. We have reviewed it in the context of other requests that have been put in, and we see this as being distinguishable for a variety of reasons. One being the fact that this isn't taking lands out of an agricultural designation, but simply adding a limited non-residential use that is an extension at this time of uses that already exist within that property. And so while the analysis has not occurred from a planning perspective on whether or not this is appropriate, the direction Legal Services feels is appropriate for exploration based on the fact that it is different, it is a unique situation, and does not set a precedent in our minds at this time.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. So on the item? Carrie, thank you. So that's it for the agenda. In-camera items, there are none. Open mic session, none. Notice of motion, none. Inquiries, none. Other business, none. Adjournment? Carried. So our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, September 6th, 2018. Thank you very much.